Welcome back to the Popular Man Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have your favorite Suns fan. I got Cam with me. What's up, Cam?
Hey man, you already know what it is, Suns Nation. And my interesting NBA fact for the day is the Phoenix Suns are the only team in NBA history to have a 10-game winning streak and a 10-game losing streak in the same season. The 1997 season, the same season we traded for Jason Kidd.
So I'm guessing the 10-game win streak came when Kidd was there. The 10-game losing streak came.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we actually traded early on in the season, but he got hurt early. Then we lost 10. We actually lost 13 straight to start the season. Then toward the end, we actually ended up making the playoffs somehow.
Who's the best player on that team then? Do you remember?
Jason Kidd.
Okay, I got that. You said you traded for Jason Kidd. Okay, got it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we got Jason Kidd.
Okay. All right. Also with today, we have my right-hand man, your favorite Timberwolves fan. We got DeLon. What's up, DeLon?
You know what it is, the Minnesota Maniac, the Mississippi Menace. Two things. First off, prayers up to Karl-Anthony Towns having a very, 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 very rough start to his season, what with his wrist, and then now testing positive for COVID. So prayers up to Big Cat. Second off, everyone, I know it's what you've all been waiting for. I officially, after 15 months, have an appointment with a barber. So everyone, just round of applause. Just round of applause. Round of applause. You know, I caught COVID, so I got 3 months of invincibility. So we're just gonna go ahead and go to a barber shop. Antibodies are here. All right, go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
But also like just that shout out those two states. It's just hilarious. Like Minnesota Mania, Mississippi Menace. It's like the two most non-threatening states you think of. But also joining us today, we have TL Disruptor, Dallas Mavericks fan. We got Dre with us. What's up, Dre?
What's happening, man? How y'all doing? Looking for MVP. Just make sure y'all don't forget that. I know we started off a little rough, but we all right right now, all right? So MVP.
I'm about to say the NBA is not going to let us forget that.
As they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
If the NBA gonna do one thing, they're gonna give us a video package that starts and ends with Luka and that has Meek Mill playing in the background every single time.
Oh wait! Quick question. I know we kind of talked about this briefly. I think maybe it was on like that album episode. But what's like y'all favorite NBA highlight tape with an inappropriate song behind it? Y'all seen that thread on Twitter? Have y'all not?
I did. I saw that. I saw the thread.
I think the funniest one I saw had to be LeBron hooping to Big Old Freak. I wish I could find it. Because he just mean Big Old Freak. Oh, like, oh man.
Oh my goodness. But I saw one LeBron was hooping to Keith Sweat. It's like, what?
Oh, that's probably my favorite meme in the NBA right now. But anyway, this is episode 123 of the Popular Man Podcast. You know what we do. We give you our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. If you're streaming this on any streaming service, make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give us 5 stars. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Podcast the Man. That's where we do all our talking. You can add us, give us suggestions on what you think we should do on the show. This, that, and the third. We have our next album club episode will be about it'll be the Clips, and we're covering the album Hell Hath No Fury. That'll be out later this month. We actually know DeLon does know, Dre doesn't. The next episode will be It Was Written. So we're doing It Was Written next month, that one out. So I gotta make sure I tell everybody else that. I didn't spread the word around. But I be forgetting, man. But anyway, we get into the first topic of the day because it was a long week in terms of basketball. It was one really big thing that happened in basketball, and without being said, James Harden finally was traded from the Houston Rockets, and he was finally sent to the Brooklyn Nets. But it wasn't a simple straight up swap. It was a 4-team trade. The Pacers got involved, the Cleveland Cavaliers got involved, and the Rockets definitely were involved. We're going to talk about each team throughout the entire show, but right now we're going to talk about solely about Harden being on the Nets. So the Nets gave up Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, Karis LeVert in order to get James Harden. What's that?
Don't forget about Kurucs.
Kurucs, I don't. Kurucs needs to be out there, fam. If he does play, I'm watching the Nets. So yeah, Kurucs. Also, they gave I think 4 first-round draft picks and then 4 pick swaps. So yeah, they gave a lot. They gave a lot to get James Harden, which is a given. I'm pretty sure Spencer Dinwiddie would have been involved in that trade if he had not been hurt. But so the Nets finally got their guy, and the trade came after James Harden made some comments about the Rockets, saying that this team is unfixable. As I've done everything I can after not playing. After I think he had less than 20 points that game. I've done everything I can to fix it, even though he wasn't playing hard the last 3 games. Which John Wall said, "Hey man, why you jumping ship after 9 games?" And Boogie pretty much said he'd beat his ass if he saw him again. So they had to trade him because Boogie and John Wall would have had a nigga in a chokehold in the Toyota Center if they didn't. So now James Harden is a net. This team, before he got there, was 13th in defense. A big problem that a lot of people felt like the team having it was the fact that they don't have any defensive stoppers on the perimeter, and the only real rim protector they have with Jared Allen. They have DeAndre Jordan, but he isn't the best. Dre knows it because he's seen it when he was on Dallas. I know it because I saw him when he was a Clipper. So their biggest issue is defense. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, how James Harden's going to fit into this whole system in terms of, we'll talk about how he's going to fit into the system, but the main thing is how he's going to fit in defensively, because this team doesn't have any defenders. He doesn't defend. And offensively, how he's going to fit in next to ball-dominant Kyrie, KD, who likes to ISO, and then Harden, who likes to ISO as well. So let me ask you this. Is this a championship team that the Nets have right now?
Shit, it better be.
That's the right answer.
That is a very good answer.
But I mean, it's pretty much finals. It's championship or bust for them, honestly. I mean, when you got 3 talents like that, even with their defensive, struggles, because they're gonna struggle. I mean, losing Jared Allen was huge, but if you got to lose Jared Allen to get James Harden, I can't really knock you too much for that. But I mean, offensively, you got 3 of the most dynamic scorers in the league, all unselfish players. I mean, Harden's obviously the best playmaker out of the group or whatever. I mean, they both can score on and off the ball. They all can shoot, they all can penetrate, and they can do everything. And one thing I was thinking about is depending on how they stagger the rosters or stagger the lineups, one of them is always going to be on the court at all times. And it's how do you stop that? Even if you leave just Harden or Kyrie on the court by themselves, it's you still got a dynamic threat at all times on the court. And, obviously they going to struggle defensively, because if DeAndre Jordan in 2021 is your backline of defense, it might not be pretty for you. But all in all, yeah, this is a championship worthy roster.
Not only that, if DeAndre Jordan's your back line, your front line is Kyrie Irving and James Harden, you're gonna struggle a lot. They're gonna let them get into they're gonna let people get all the way to the rim on you. So, but anyway, DeLon and Cam, y'all kind of frowned up when Dre said they're all unselfish players.
Yeah.
Listen, I just laughed at Cam. That's all I did. I just laughed.
Well, I definitely. I mean, calling James Harden unselfish, I think, is a stretch. I think calling Kyrie unselfish on the court is kind of a stretch, and off the court is definitely a stretch.
Yeah.
But I mean, that depends. I mean, social justice and shit like that. But regardless of that, I will say definitely I can agree that this team is 100%. They don't win a championship. It's a failure of a season because, I can't say it's complete failure. If they make it to the finals, I think it's a great season. If they win the finals, it's a complete success of a season. But definitely, you bring, every time we see this much talent come together, especially with these guys, all 3 of them pretty much in their primes. Maybe not KD. We don't know how good he is post Achilles, but from what we're seeing, still in his prime. But all 3 of these guys, probably top 10, maybe top 15 NBA players in their prime. Definitely a championship team. And they always say in the NBA or any other sport, really, the team that gets the best player wins the trade. So I mean, I say they won this trade. I think when it's a player of James Harden caliber, you do everything to go get him. And now it's just a matter of putting it together on the floor. So I mean, I say it's a championship level team, but it's all going to be about chemistry and defense at this point.
I know, like, a lot of people are worried about it. It's like there's only one ball. Like, how are they going to make it work? Well, Brooklyn was already doing a pretty good job of spreading the ball around. They're ranked seventh in the league in assist percentage, so they have a high. So basically, the shots to assist ratio is pretty high. So they've been doing a good job of spreading the ball around and getting people involved and getting them easy looks up to this point. Granted, KD been playing a lot by himself, and then Kyrie was playing a lot by himself because KD was out with coronavirus. So we actually have not seen them play together a lot. So I don't know what that number probably doesn't reflect truly how good they are or how bad they will be at moving the ball around. But there's some hope there. And man, Steve Nash got his hands full trying to figure out how to make all three of them fit and like how to keep them all happy. James Harden claimed in his presser that as long as he's making his teammates better, he doesn't care, which is funny because he could have done it with the Rockets. But anyway, DeLon, is this team with the talent they have? Because a lot of people, I think most people agree this is the most talented players that have ever been assembled on the same team. The top three most talented players ever assembled on the same team. Like you can't think of another team that had three guys, top guys, as good as these three.
Individually.
Is this team too big to fail DeLon based off their talent alone?
So Dre said the important almighty phrase championship or bust, and I usually hate that phrase, but here I'm not mad at it. But I still disagree with it. I just can't, because none of them boys are on the last leg of their contract. So I can't, this isn't like we all have to get this done before we're out. It's not like a Lakers situation where AD is out the door if we don't get this championship, something like that. Even with the expectations, it's like the COVID season with no training camp, with coming off the Achilles injury, and Kyrie's coming off an injury, and James Harden out here looking like Rick Ross. And there's just so many different factors going into it where I'm like, yeah, I can give them a year to get it together. I can give them the summer playing together and all that kind of stuff to see where everyone meshes. Rookie coach, all that kind of stuff where I just can't myself call it championship or bust, but definitely I'm looking at them like we're looking at the Heat talking about some 2, 3, 4. Y'all better get some. Not something. Y'all better get some. Y'all better get multiple. I don't, I can see it not happening this year. Although I do expect it to happen this year.
So two things that are I agree with what DeLon said, but two things that have been hilarious throughout this whole process is that James Harden, a lot of his issues I feel like were with Mike D'Antoni, and now he's got to deal with him again, which is it should be funny to figure out. And another thing that I just thought was funny that I just wanted to bring up is the memes that I've seen of the new big three being scary, and it's Kevin Durant, then an empty screen, then it's Mark Henry with the Brooklyn across it.
And the people they find that look like James Harden right now is hilarious.
Nah, that's wild. But yeah.
Also, Cam, you said James Harden has to deal with D'Antoni again. That's what he wants, because D'Antoni is an enabler. D'Antoni enabled all his antics when he was with the Rockets. So I'm pretty sure he's happy to be with D'Antoni again.
D'Antoni has to deal with him again.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like D'Antoni probably like, finally free your Harden.
Nah, nigga, we back.
Run it back.
I know tinfoil hat. Some conspiracy theorists might think that like they could have always planned for this to happen, and that might be why D'Antoni chose specifically Brooklyn, and that's why also so that might be why.
I don't think D'Antoni had any full-time offers, honestly. That's part of it.
No, he was fielding offers from the Pacers. The Pacers were interested in him before they chose their current coach, who's been doing a phenomenal job. They did the right thing by hiring I forgot the guy's name, but
wasn't he linked with Philly too?
Yeah, he was linked with Philly too. But then as soon as Doc said that he was interested, they said, "Nah, forget that."
Okay.
Doc. So I think
we're gonna get the other nigga that disappoints people.
Pretty much.
Disappointing black. Do you do it? But anyway, that was a point I was gonna make. I was like that was just like a tinfoil hat moment. I was like, that's kind of crazy. They end up back together like that in less than 2 months, less than 3 months. They're back together again.
Yeah.
Also, like tinfoil hat. Some people suggested, what if Kyrie wanted Harden on team? He was sick of them not making a trade, so he dodged town to force ownership to make a trade. Maybe. Possibly, because because I get he also left on produce social reform and things of that nature, but he happened to finish his social reform work as soon as the trade is over. Like it's like the timing. It just
I don't know. This nigga Kyrie just weird, bro. Like,
so let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Kyrie and his disappearance. He missed the last 5 games. He was seen at a birthday party with his for his sister and for his dad, but he also was seen on Zoom calls doing a fundraiser for the district attorney of Manhattan. What is y'all thoughts on Kyrie's absence? Just randomly leaving, because according to the team, which the team could be lying, they had no clue that he had left. So what do y'all make of his disappearance and the fact that he reappeared now? Go ahead, Dylan. I know you're a Kyrie Irving apologist.
Which is funny because like 9 months ago, I was a Kyrie Irving slanderer. Listen, man, I've said this many times. This man, Kyrie Irving, can do no wrong in my eyes with everything he's done, especially over the last 12 months, especially with his responsibilities as NBA, PA. I always get those acronyms confused. I'm gonna say NFL. He just does. His mind is so much focused on outside of basketball that you have to respect and appreciate it. And to that regard, my only annoyance with this would come with his communications with his teammates, and that we absolutely do not know. I'm not going to tell this man he needs to report to the white man standing over him, like ask him where he is. It's just with his teammates. Has he had those conversations that I'm not going to be there? Because I just feel like we as the popcorn gallery are expecting these players to follow this strict code of conduct with this COVID situation that we're not following. Most of us are not following ourselves to that regard. We're telling these people, you can't go see your dad for his birthday. You can't go do this for our entertainment. And people like to say like this selfish for this and that, but that's not why they're really saying it. They just want to see Kyrie Irving play that night. So, hey, it ain't my life.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this to go against something you said, Delon. I definitely feel where you're coming from about, we're not really following the guidelines, how we expect these people to do it. But 2 things come to my mind. One, this is a job. Your job is to play basketball. If you don't show up to work, for multiple days at a time, and you don't give your boss an excuse, you'll be fired. Like, granted, we can't do that with Kyrie because he's one of the few people in the world who can do what he does, so that's not fair. But then on top of that, people see the amount of money that Kyrie is making and the amount of money that somebody is making to do what they do, and it makes it hard for them to be understanding and for them to be compassionate with that person. Like, Kyrie is going to lose $800,000 of salary. Like, and most people in their life won't say in their life, but like most people in decades don't make $800,000. So like, I definitely can feel where people are upset about it and why people don't, because I mean, this is something we've never seen before. We've seen people like Dennis Rodman, who the team knew, oh, this nigga's going to go to Vegas. This nigga's going to go turn up. And we've seen people who like disappear, but the team and the teammates always know. These people were literally finding out as we found out where Kyrie was and what he was doing. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but you can do what you want to do when you Kyrie Irving.
So at which point you said he forfeited that salary?
Yeah, that's
his obligation to me. If he's fine enough with forfeiting that salary, that's okay. Now, what you said, we like that you compared them to us, but if I miss work, the entire world is not going to tweet about it. The entire world is not going to tell me where I better be, what I better do, what I need to do. So that's the difference there. Kyrie Irving missing basketball ultimately does not affect my life at all. But people act like it do, and people talk to him like it does, unless they bet on him. That's a different thing.
Yeah, in that case, you bet the house. Yeah. Like, damn, man, I bet the over on the Knicks. Kyrie not playing.
So if I get fired, the only man I got to talk to is unemployment. So at that point, I don't know. People need to worry about other things.
Man, imagine betting the over on the Nets. You got to pack your kid's toy box. Like, so we gotta go. Where did stay here? We can't stay.
But honestly, that's like for every game this season. Like, you turn on the game, you don't know who's going to be playing. Like,
yeah,
Mavs had 5 rotation players miss last night. Like,
it's sporadic. It just happens out of nowhere. Yeah. Games are getting postponed.
Yeah,
if you were betting during COVID, then man, you might need to seek professional help.
For real though.
Nah, because like I know somebody, or maybe I'll talk to somebody on Twitter. They said, man, I can't believe I lost money last night. I said, wait a minute, bro, it's preseason. You betting on preseason games? They play
Niggas down bad.
man.
I said, bro,
I didn't even know you could bet on it.
I'm like, bro, they playing third string. You don't even know these players on the court.
Bro, no, it is really crazy because I feel like even when I'm watching teams play now, I'm seeing teams healthy, and this nigga's on the court I've never seen before. Like I was like, it's a nigga. It was a nigga playing last night named Isaiah Hardenstein, and I was like, who are you, bro? And he's like a rotation player. Like this nigga, the team was healthy. This nigga was playing.
All right, Cam, you casual. You know.
I know, right?
Hey man, and one day Jordan read off the lineup for the Sixers. I didn't know who the hell he was. At the one we got Scotty. At the two we got Jeffrey. Like just random ass niggas.
Yeah, and like I said, it's so strange. Like we aren't casual fans of basketball. We watch it pretty heavily. But even then, like it's just so weird. You can just turn on the Heat game. You see guys who are just in G League playing, starting, like guys who are in G League day 4 starting because half the roster has been decimated. But to get too far off the subject, I got one last question about the Nets, and then we'll go on. Who will pose the biggest threat for the Nets in the East? The Sixers, the Bucks, or the Sexland Cavaliers?
Wait, what?
I was trying not to react. Damn, I was trying not to react.
Because I was thinking in my mind, I was like, okay, Sixers, Bucks, Cavaliers.
But in reality, it'll probably be like, so we'll go Celtics and Heat. So
Heat, okay.
So those out of 4 teams, who you think would pose the greatest threat to this Nets team?
I want to say the Sixers, but it's just Ben Simmons. I just can't. He's not making me believe in him. Like he's just, I don't know. Like I understand you can't shoot, and I understand you got your limitations, but to not shoot at all. There was literally a play. I forgot who they was playing. He drove in the paint. His man backed up pretty much under the basket. He's at the free throw line by himself. Like, bruh, shoot a floater or something, bruh. Like, something. So, I want to believe in them. Like, I know they can defend, and I know Embiid is having a great year. And who on the Nets are going to guard? Who's guarding Embiid?
Nobody.
DeAndre Jordan?
That'll be funny.
That's 35 and 15. Should be. For Embiid, but honestly, I would probably say biggest threat. I'd probably say the Heat, just because of the way that they defend and they can score. Obviously they don't have the scores that Brooklyn does, which nobody does.
It won't matter if you playing the Brooklyn Nets defense. It won't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that defensive versatility and how switchable they are. So I would say they're still the biggest threat.
Their defensive versatility is a good point because they got Thibault and they have Simmons they can like sick onto Kyrie and onto Harden. The problem with then be Embiid just like left. I'm not Embiid, but then KD's left unchecked. But you can't really check KD anyway, no matter who you have on him. But eventually you got Embiid on the other side of the floor who can't be guarded. You brought up earlier that a few seconds ago that Ben gets to the free throw line, they won't shoot. Ben is a 62% free throw shooter. That might be why he won't even take that shot. He just overall just cannot.
Already got the slander ready. Damn,
hey,
he gotta shoot it, bro.
Like he had to step forward.
That's my job.
You say that.
That's my job. That's what I do. Cam, what about you? Do you agree with the Sixers, or you say another team?
Nah. So my answer for this question will probably be the Bucks. And the only reason I say the Bucks is because part of what he said was the defensive versatility. Because I mean, on the perimeter, you got Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and you got Antetokounmpo. Well, I don't know why I called him that. You got Greek Freak. He can switch out. He can guard KD. He can do a lot. And I think that team defensively is very defensively versatile, and I think they can make a lot of different moves. Even though you're not going to be able to stop this team completely, but you'll be able to at least contain them. And another thing that I love about the team is that they can get up shots in a hurry. Like that's a 3-point shooting team that's like scary. And we've seen, honestly, Chris Middleton has shown us more. Well, I won't say more, but Chris Middleton has shown us some stuff in the playoffs that we hadn't even seen from Giannis yet. Like Chris Middleton will come up and he'll like drop 35 and like try to make a game winning shot. We haven't seen Giannis even do that yet. So I mean, I like this team. I like the moves that they made to try to say that they're all in keeping Giannis and winning the championship. But I just don't see anybody. I can't see nobody beating them. But if I had to choose anybody to beat them, it would probably be the Bucks for me.
I would say the Bucks as well, for the simple fact that, you know, the defensive versatility you said. I actually don't remember how well Giannis does guarding KD. I can't imagine too well, but I feel like he's like, being a big 7-footer who is mobile, he probably has more of a chance than anybody in the league. For the fact, you know, the main problem most people have is if you guard KD, if you put somebody fast as KD on him, he gonna shoot over him. Put somebody as big as KD on him, he gonna drive past him. Giannis should be mobile enough to stay in front of KD or stay with him, and then he's tall enough to actually contest his shots, unlike anybody else in the league. So I give him the edge in there. Then Drew Holiday is a great defender. He'll do his due diligence on Kyrie, and Middleton's a pretty good defender too. He'll help out with Kyrie and Harden. But also the one thing that separates them from like the Sixers is they can get shots up. They can get a lot of threes going, and that's what you're gonna need. Like you're not gonna be able to stop the Nets, but you got to get stops. But even when you get stops, you got to make sure you score on the possession you're given. The Nets are not going to stall completely. Yeah. So they're a team that can do that. But the problem is that if the Bucks do their whole defensive scheme of we're going to guard just the paint, we're going to guard the mid range, and we're going to force you to take threes and beat us against Kyrie, Harden, and KD, if they stick to their game plan, they getting wiped out. They'll have to go man to man. That's what they need to do, and just switch everything, because that'll be the only way you stop an offense like that. DeLon, what about you? Which team do you think is be the biggest threat? I know you believe in Jimmy Butler's Heat.
Don't even disrespect him like that again. But I would say probably the Celtics. I like the 1-3 matchup the most. Marcus Smart is a Kyrie Irving agitator. Of course, I just feel like they're the other team that can penetrate and get that weak interior defense for the Nets. Well, as of right now, weak interior defense for the Nets, but also keep up. Because a lot of teams, they can score themselves. Ben Simmons can get his twos on that weak paint, but also they're just not going to be able to keep up to those threes. I just feel like Celtics are the only other team that can do that, as well as the young gunner Peyton Pritchard right now out there getting his buckets. Might be the X factor. Who knows?
You know what? Sometimes when DeLon answers questions, I wonder if DeLon answers them and gives the answer different from what we gave just to do it, or if he genuinely believes what he says sometimes.
Come on now.
Are you calling DeLon Cord?
No, because I think Cord really be believing some of the bullshit.
Cord told me once that he trolls so much sometimes he starts to believe the shit he's saying. That's powerful. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a new level,
man. Yeah, it's a dangerous game to play. I feel that's what Trump do. Like he tells lies to the point that he starts to believe in himself.
Oh, hands down.
Cord is Trump.
That's what Jordan used to do against his opponents too.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we close this topic out, one thing I want to say. I've heard Stephen A. and I've heard a lot of other commentators say Kyrie should retire. Kyrie needs to do this. Kyrie needs to do that. Please stop it, because Kyrie is only relevant because he plays basketball. If he stops playing basketball, then he's not going to be relevant, and these issues that he's trying to change aren't really going to make sense. So the retirement talk needs to stop. Kyrie's not going to stop playing basketball. I think he loves basketball, but I think he loves other things more, but he knows that he's better at basketball than he is at these other things, so he continues playing basketball. So stop it.
Yeah, I think he loves basketball more than the other thing. I just don't think he loves the NBA.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. That could be what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shenanigans that comes with it.
And I also think that he also recognizes that even then, if he loves basketball like wholeheartedly, he knows that that's not the end all be all. Like that's not what makes the world go round. Like it's a game at the end of the day, and he knows that there's more important matters in this world.
So no. It's art at the end of the day.
It's art at the end of the day. It is art.
It is art.
That's why it's art, man. Have you ever?
They're artists, not players.
Big facts. But anyway.
Oh, but before we go on, speaking of me ranting about the shit they have to do for COVID, did y'all see the new COVID protocols that came
Oh
They
my
said-
gosh.
They said so. This is most of what I was talking about, Cam, because this happened to be around the same time. So the new rules are, like you can't leave the hotel for a single thing unless it is practice or team related. They took off the list of approved restaurants that they can go to. I think they did something with like delivery foods and all that kind of stuff. Like they are stuck in, and if they're on an away team or an away game, they literally cannot like leave the hotel. Like literally.
Niggas can't get
For
no
the
cheeks.
next 6 months or so.
I mean, they can call up something, I guess. They just can't go get it.
I'm about to say, can they?
Oh, actually,
I
know.
don't think they can call up stuff.
You know, I take that back. No, they can't.
It's gonna be a lot of angry niggas on the court.
Speaking of cheeks, they can't pat each other on the butt on the court either. They can't do that anymore. That's
a weird thing.
Like you can't dap each other up. Can't you can't do none of that stuff on the court anymore with opposing players.
It's wild.
Wait, what was they said something? You gotta like give like elbows or something. Like they said somewhere. They specified.
Yeah. Like you can't like your hands cannot touch.
Good game.
I think I saw Boogie and another player touch ankles before the game started.
Giannis and Luka was having a full-blown conversation after last game.
No, it was the
day. One of these right here.
It wasn't even that. It was just out in the open. Like
the crazy thing is there was one instance, like I think like a game ended and Steve Nash walked onto the court and he hugged somebody. It was the same day that the NBA announced that you can't even like handshake.
Yeah.
He went up and hugged somebody without mask on. I said NBA ain't gonna like that. But
oh my goodness.
COVID crazy, NBA crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. You know what's crazy? How big Travis Scott has gotten. Travis Scott. Word to DeLon, because DeLon brought up this topic. Travis Scott has grown to heights I would never imagine he'd gotten. We talked about that multiple times on this podcast, but I feel like every time we talk about it, he gets a new deal or endorsement makes it even bigger. Like his partnerships with Fortnite, which is one of the biggest games in the world. He's done multiple concerts on Fortnite, which I think is a crazy thing in a way. That's so nuts. He's had this McDonald's sponsorship. He had a meal named after him. He had the PS5 sponsorship where he had the leather pants on, sitting on the leather couch with the PS5.
Jordan.
Yeah. He just keeps getting so many looks.
I wouldn't call him a name. I was saying he has a Jordan sponsorship.
Yeah. I think that's what you meant because it makes sense when you call my name in the middle.
Yeah.
But I can't think of some others. I noticed some other. He did have a Jordan brand. I remember it distinctly now. But it's like there's something else he joined and did recently, and I was like, wow, like he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And so I'm gonna play a little game. For better or worse, is usually where we have a topic and I tell you guys something's better or worse. So here I'm gonna tell you if this artist is bigger or not as big as Travis Scott. So I'm gonna start with the easy one. Drake.
Bigger.
Don't do that, Cam. Yeah, he's bigger. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. Drake's still the biggest rapper in the world until further notice.
Oh! Y'all were saying Drake is bigger than Travis.
Yeah.
I thought y'all was saying it the other way around. I was like, hold on.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Wait for the explanation. He said, I know not.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna ask the not so obvious ones. What about Kendrick? Is Kendrick bigger or smaller than Travis Scott in terms of fame?
I'd say Kendrick is bigger, but not by much. But I'd say Kendrick. I think it's Drake. Then it's like Kendrick under him, and we'll talk further. But
yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think if an album dropped on the same day, Kendrick would be bigger, but that gap has closed in the last 3 years. I think it has closed. I think as of right now, until Kendrick drops an album, until Kendrick drops something, because he can't keep living through Baby Keem. I think right now Travis Scott is the bigger artist.
Man. And the thing with Travis is like, the thing with Kendrick sometimes is that something that LeBron deals with too, is that because you're such a forward-thinking social justice person, you can offend and turn off a lot of people. Whereas Travis Scott, everybody loves Travis. Like literally, there's not a single soul that doesn't love Travis. Well, I mean, there are niggas out there who don't love him. I mean, but like everybody, like there are people who adore him, and like it's kind of wild. Like to the point where like like a Happy Meal, Big Mac box on StockX is going for like $300 for a Travis Scott meal. Like, it's crazy.
That is wild. Yeah.
It is insane. Okay. J. Cole.
Oh, come on, Travis.
Travis is bigger. Yeah.
That's wild, man. I don't know.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. When J. Cole announced them shoes, did you go buy them, Cam?
Hey, I'm tell you what, my boy John got some Travis Scott X McDonald's merch, my boy. So
Oh my goodness.
That boy John said I lost my keychain. I said, damn, how much was it? He said $10. But I was gonna cop another one though. I said, damn.
I ain't gonna lie, because I definitely did not cop those J. Cole shoes, and I definitely want the Travis Scott one. So
See what I mean? And so be honest with you, I don't even think there's any other like rappers I can even name that's in the discussion of like, Future's pretty big, not gonna be big as Travis Scott. Logic probably has a claim, but not as big as Travis Scott. Word to his Twitch sponsorship. Man, who?
I was about to say. So, question. Go ahead.
I gotta Post Malone.
That's what I was thinking. Hey, I ain't gonna disrespect Post Malone. I ain't gonna lie. That boy been working in these last 5 years. Hey,
he has. I swear.
Post Malone might be like top 5 biggest artists like right now. So I'm gonna get that to Post.
Post Malone has entered that realm of being the number one song in the country, but me never hearing it.
Oh my God.
I swear.
Because White Iverson went nowhere near as big as his current songs are, and I heard them all the time. I don't hear the stuff he be making. It's just not for me. I know that because I just never hear it, even though it's the number one song in the country. It's crazy.
That is insane.
But yeah, I probably could think of singers and stuff that I can compare.
That's what I was gonna say. We probably need to compare them like pop stars almost. Like,
yeah, but like
that being said, it's still not too many.
Yes, it's still not like he's got.
Well, there's only a handful of people who did Astro World numbers.
How?
Yeah. I'm thinking like Taylor Swift, maybe.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. I think
Taylor Swift is bigger. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, in this day and age, even though I don't feel like she has the same pool as she used to. Okay, what about Ariana Grande?
She has
Ariana Grande. The brand is bigger than Travis Scott. The brand, but those albums, the music did not outsell Astro World.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Are we gonna keep clinging on to Astro World though? Like that was what 2 years ago.
It was last release.
Yeah. And to be honest,
it was a very astronomical number, and every single since then has gone number one. Even that single with Kid Cudi.
And I think his next project will be just big.
Insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was some wild stuff, man.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you what, the Scots single went number one.
Yeah,
that should tell you plenty.
Hey, when I was looking up stuff for this discussion, Travis Scott is the first artist to have 3 songs debut at number 1 in less than a year. Highest in the Room, the Scots, and Franchise.
Should have saved that for my pack next week.
Debut, yeah. I was gonna say Drake had 3 number ones for his last, but they didn't debut at number 1. So yeah,
that is wild, man.
That is wild.
And I was since Astro World, so hey,
So something I was thinking is like maybe we can compare him and put him in the realm of like Kanye a couple of years ago, maybe, or is that not big enough?
Was it? No, that's the question. Has he surpassed Kanye even in fame? Probably not. Nah, he hasn't.
Oh no.
Soon as they left my mouth, I realized.
Yeah, he's top level star that we've ever seen in hip hop.
Yeah.
So when I think about this question of like who's the bigger artist, I think about it's like when I was working at the music venue and I was like booking artists, who would I have to pay more to come perform? As of right now, that would be Travis Scott. It wouldn't be Kanye, but Kanye is definitely Kanye, not music.
I say that Travis is probably more relevant in the present right now in the music scene, which is why that would be the case. What do you about to say, Cam?
It's interesting because I always hear these rappers talking about like they get 200 and 300 a show, and then like it'd be like niggas like the Baby and like look like I would imagine Lil Baby, he probably gets like 200 somewhere, 200 300. The Baby said 300, and so I was like, I know that shit is not true. But then I was like, dang, if they commanded this much, imagine how much somebody like Drake or Travis Scott is commanded for a show.
Exactly. I've been thinking about that too.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Young
the
Thug say he asked for $1 million a show, but
He ain't
that
getting
nigga.
that.
You don't
That
see too many
nigga
Young
fine.
Thug shows.
Please. But the Astroworld tour grossed 53 million in 2019.
That's insane, man.
He was doing shows like the Garden, like
Yeah.
every arena. He's out of there. I think the only tour that may have done more or close to it in recent years is the Damn tour.
Yeah, I know that's
I
like
think Drake's tour.
I think
Drake
Drake tour.
okay.
Yeah, I think
The one
Drake
with
tour.
Migos?
Yeah, I think that might be
Yeah.
I think that was the highest grossing hip hop tour of all time.
It was.
currently.
It was. I remember seeing that stat. I know
Okay,
that's
well, yeah, that makes sense.
I know that's Merrill's favorite like metric for telling if an artist is bigger than another one. Do you think he could sell out like the Garden? Do you think he could sell out like like football stadiums? If an artist can do that, then they are they're like upper echelon in terms of fame. If you can't, then you probably have no business doing that. Like Young Thug, like we talking Young Thug, he ain't selling out the Garden. No, he's going
If you
to smaller.
Young Thug performs. If you can pay an artist any amount of money to do a club walkthrough, then they're probably not asking for $1 million. Like if it's not like Drake saying it's my birthday, somebody pay me for this, that's different. If you can just pay Young Thug on a Thursday night to come through, then
So speaking of the highest grossing tours of all time, the craziest thing is of the top 6, Beyonce. Oh no, of the top 7, Beyonce has 4. That's kind of wild.
God.
I'm telling y'all what, y'all
insane.
boys and y'all stats today. Y'all,
I love it.
y'all boys,
I love
it.
The great Beyonce, greatest living performer right now.
That's kind of wild, man.
Definitely.
I mean, my mom, but she used to be a very big Beyonce fan. She say it all the time. Like it's just true. Like nobody is bigger than her when it comes to like performing and things of that nature. So shout out to Beehive. We respect y'all.
For real.
All right, moving on to the next topic. We're gonna go back to basketball. We're gonna go back to the James Harden trade. So what did the Rockets get in return for James Harden? They got Karis LeVert, but then they also flipped Karis LeVert and gave him to the Pacers. So they ended up getting Victor Oladipo. So they got Victor Oladipo, all those draft picks we talked about earlier, 4 first-round draft picks, pick swaps. And is Kurucs with them? I think so.
Yeah, Caruso, he stayed on the Rockets.
He's staying on the Rockets.
Okay.
So the main thing is those picks and Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo has made it. You know, he hasn't hid it from anyone. Literally, he was going up to players last year in the playoffs, asking him, "Can I come play for you?" So shameless. He wanted to be out of Indiana so bad. He's asking New York Knicks, "Can I come play with you?" Nick, you know,
Hey man,
that's how down bad he was. So when the season started, he said, "I'm focused. I am focused on the team. This is my home. This is what I'm gonna work for. And I'm gonna play hard for the organization." Well, it shows that he did not want to be there, or maybe even the Pacers didn't want to believe in him anymore. But he's been traded. Victor Oladipo is currently averaging 20 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's shooting 42% from the field, 36% from 3, 76% from the free throw line. Just for reference, these are around what his numbers were in that year before he went to the playoffs, and he started like killing the Cavaliers. So he's seen, from what I've been told, I haven't watched all the Pacer games. They play against the Clippers tomorrow, so I'll definitely watch them then. So after losing their All NBA MVP level shooting guard, the Rockets have replaced him with an all-star caliber shooting guard. But the problem is his contract is over after this year, and he could possibly walk in free agency. Has Oladipo found his new home? Will he be a Rocket? Is this the place he should want to be?
man, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Oladipo, I'm trying to get back to that Eastern Conference. He ain't gonna make no All-Star games in the West. He ain't gonna get the numbers he wanted. Well, he might get the numbers. He ain't gonna make the All-Star game. He barely gonna be sneaking in the playoffs. He got that team around him. We don't know how healthy they're gonna be or how good they're gonna be. Granted, Christian Wood has been ridiculous this season. But I mean, if Christian Wood keeps showing promise, John Wall can show that he's not a shell of himself, even though that contract is horrible. And Boogie Boogie hasn't been bad. And I mean, they could be a great defensive team with perimeter defenders like PJ Tucker and Victor Oladipo out there, and then like you got Christian Wood holding down the paint. I mean, I think it could be a good team. I don't know if this is his home for a long period of time. If I'm him, I'm definitely trying to see how well this team fares for the rest of the season and throughout if they make the playoffs. But I don't think this is his last destination. I think he needs to play well this season, show his worth, and then get back on the free agent market.
Well, what about you, Dre? Even if he does play well and exceed expectations, and he's back to like the form he was before he got hurt, do you think that it would be in his best interest to stay a Rocket?
No. I mean, when I look at that roster, I see, John Wall, Christian Wood, like Cam said, Christian Wood has been balling this season. But I look at that roster, and honestly, the way it's set up now, I don't think they make the playoffs. Honestly, the way it's set up right now. But I look at teams that could use Oladipo, like contenders that could use him, like Miami could use Oladipo. Maybe the Celtics, maybe. I mean,
the Celtics fans wanted him. They wanted him.
Yeah, so there's places where he can go, still put up decent numbers and contend for a title. So I would say I didn't know until you said it that this is last year on his contract. I didn't even know that. I thought he had a couple years left.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain this is his last year. I could double check that. But I'll tell another team that could probably use him, and that would most likely be like the Sixers. Like the Sixers desperately need a perimeter oriented player, like a guy who can actually like create and do things on the perimeter rather than guys who only can score in the paint. So he did great there. They just don't have any money because they paid Tobias Harris the same amount of money, Simmons, and also Embiid. So you had to go there for like nickels and dimes if you want to go there. DeLon, from what Dre and Cam pretty much said, they agree with James Harden that team is unfixable. Do you think that Oladipo should stay here? And also, do you think there'll be a playoff team?
I'll be honest. I haven't watched too many Rockets games. What with James Harden missing all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the separate but equal note, don't even fantasy book him going to the Sixers. Literally, you're just putting like bow ties on a pig at this point. Like the Sixers is one of those two boys got to go. But yes, I'm not really sure about what the Rockets should do about the situation.
Yeah, so this is the last year of Oladipo's contract. He currently makes $21 million, which if he's back to what he was before, that's chump change. Like he deserves probably closer to $30 million. Will he get that? I don't know. It depends on what you want to go to, because I think a lot of those teams are going to be the better teams are going to be capped, spaced out, so they won't be able to give him that much money. I might be wrong. I think that he can create that space, but I don't think this is. I had them listed as a playoff team, but it's only because I thought that Harden would have been there longer, and then the Nets or Sixers would have caved at the deadline. So I figured they would have played a lot more games. But right now they're sitting at 4 and 6, and they are the 12th seed in the West as we were speaking. No, still early on, just 10 games. You can definitely turn around. They have I think this roster is a playoff team caliber roster, because I'm going down the line. I'm going to say Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, Utah, the Suns.
You said Utah and Jazz.
Oh, damn, I did. I meant Blazers. That's what I meant.
Suns.
So Suns. That's 5.
I was just gonna let him say it.
I said it. There's the Nuggets. That's 6.
Mavs.
That's 7. And then then there's
come on.
There's the 8th seed, and the 8th seed last year was who got in? Well, it was the Blazers got in, but who's the team? Oh, the Thunder. So who's gonna be the 8th seeded team? I think the Rockets will end up having more talent, more veteran leadership than any other team that's contending for that 8th seed, other than maybe the Spurs have a good shot at it. It'll between and the Warriors. So I'm gonna say
Well, when you put it like that, when you actually listed the teams,
that's always how it happens, man.
Yeah, it is. they might could sneak in the 8th seed and get swept by one of the LA teams, but might be able to sneak.
It's one of the LA teams. If it's the Clippers, the LA team, it ain't gonna be a sweep. They make me so damn sick.
Hey, y'all ain't got to play Luka. Y'all be all right.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope we if we end up the second seed, I hope Luka in the fourth, fifth seed, they got to play against that they beat the Lakers headache. But anyway, so yeah, I think the Rockets. I think I'm gonna say this: the Rockets are set up. I think did they make the right decision by not keeping LeVert and just getting Oladipo? Should they have just kept LeVert? Because LeVert had like 3 to 4 years left on his contract. I think he's like 26, 27 years old. I think he's just like a little bit older than Oladipo. Would it have been smarter for them to just keep him, who was already under contract, or y'all think it's good to possibly use this as a salary dump and like possibly move on from Oladipo?
Well, and so that's what I was going to say. I think that this move is going to end up being, if the team doesn't work out this year, if they completely go into the tank, I think that this is going to be we're going to get rid of, well, I guess John Wall is still going to be there, which sucks. But you got John Wall. I mean, we're going to get rid of John Wall. We're going to get rid of Oladipo. We're going to get rid of Boogie. We're going to keep Christian Wood. We're going to build around him. We're going to draft some people with all these new draft picks we got. And we're going to do Oklahoma City Thunder. But I mean, like, I think that they're like, yeah, we really hope this works. But deep down in their mind, they're like, if it don't work, we good. We good regardless. I hate it for my guy Steven Silas, I think is his name. Hate it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Black. It's always seems like it's the black coach that gets this end of the stick, but you know, it is what it is. I definitely feel like it's more of a salary dump, a potential salary dump, than it is a actually trying to rebuild and win project.
Dre, either one of y'all disagree and think they should have kept Vert and try to like build on top of what they already have, or what?
I mean, I feel like they could have kept LeVert and maybe try to build around him and Christian Wood.
Yeah.
Because if he got a couple years on his deal, then you know, obviously they're not going to contend for a title. Obviously, they with a working brain can pretty much recognize that. So, you already got the picks. You got the picks from the trade, so you got LeVert and the picks, so you can keep LeVert and Christian Wood. I don't know how much LeVert's getting paid, but I don't think it's that much.
Nah, it can't be that much.
He actually just got a contract. I think he's making like $20 million.
Yeah, it got to be close. It got to be close to what Oladipo's making now. I'm pretty sure because they got traded for each other straight up, so it had to be around the same amount.
True that. Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, I would have kept him honestly, because especially seeing him with his own, like with a even greener light and you know more role in the offense or whatever like that. Because basically, you know, you got John Wall, he's the point guard, and Christian Wood, he's more so a finisher at this point. So, you know, it's there for you to get buckets. You can get 22, 23 a night, but I mean, hey.
And LeVert always thrived when he wasn't having to play second fiddle to like Kyrie. Mm-hmm. Like he always balled in those games. So he would have had, you know, he would have been their go-to scorer from the perimeter if he was there. And that's a question of how good. Like, do you think he could be all-star, all NBA good? If not, then maybe not keeping him was probably the best option. Yeah. If you don't really believe in that talent. So we'll come back and talk about the last piece of this trade.
Pause.
Okay.
I would have gotten rid of him personally. Mm-hmm. But them getting rid of him just makes the John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade make less sense to me. Like, it makes it like the what was it for trade? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it now.
It's real because like you're playing 2 point guards. That's not going to take you the distance.
Nope. And
if you're always going to rebuild, if you weren't going to commit to the future, then you could have just kept Westbrook. And I guess unless you think that like, this guy is worse than this guy, so we'll get this guy and he'll make it easier to tank. But right now, Wall does not look like the worst of the two.
Yeah, I would think Westbrook would be the piece that I would keep. Yeah. And it's not like the pick that they got in that trade is like it's lottery protected in like 3 years.
So
that's the point.
They were just doing shit to be doing shit. But then again, at that point, it was
the Rockets. The Rockets.
At that point, it was like we're gonna try to placate Harden, but then Harden's like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna work. Which Harden could just told them like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna work. Mm-hmm. But also Russ asked to be out, so it's like we can't just keep him here because he wants to be go. So send him. But then again, it could have kept. But then again, it could have kept them, and then Russ just didn't play, and then they were worse, and then they definitely tanked. But anyway, the next question I want to ask y'all, and it actually kind of goes back to Travis Scott. where a lot of people just were not really crazy about like the single The Scots or like a lot of last couple of things Travis Scott has done. But yet, despite that, music has still been number one. Everything attached to his name is platinum, damn near. I want to tell you guys about stan culture, and it's basically talking about this culture where people have become obsessed with musicians, celebrities of all ilks and sorts, and where they just constantly like be on the internet talking about those people and like underneath their comments and calling them dad and father and stuff like that in the comments. A whole bunch of weird shit. But yeah. I want to ask y'all this: have the artists become bigger than the music in this day and age? Because it feels like now that in the past, I think they would find people who are talented and then try to make a persona around you to make you sell. But now it's more like they try to find people with personas and identities, and they don't really have a lot of talent, but they try to sell you and push you just a person to the point you care about the music, kind of like your girl Sweetie DeLon. So
wait, what?
DeLon always brings up about how great Sweetie's marketing team is, but we just do not care about her music whatsoever. But her name is in a lot of people's mouths because of the person, definitely not because of her music. But if her music ever takes off, it's because Sweetie herself has become a big enough entity. So do y'all feel like artists have become bigger than the music today? Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Honestly, I would say yeah. I feel like, everything you said, labels, they try to sell personalities more so than the actual music. It's like, if you got the personality, we'll put the music around you. We'll put you with the right artists. We'll give you the right producers. Because when you think about it, I mean, that's kind of how Cardi B became who she is. Now, she makes hits. I'm not trying to deny her star power or anything, but she was a personality. That's what her thing was at first. And then, they gave her, great producers, great features, things like that. So writers, yeah, so so I think definitely, and especially with the emergence of social media and how big it gets and how artists get canceled and things like that, like people buy into personalities more so than just the music. It's like, yeah, they like the music, but do they like you as a person as well? So and to go with the Saweetie point, Saweetie is a personality. She's not the best rapper. I don't have a problem with Saweetie. I think she's all right. She makes hits, she makes fun music. Let her do what she do. I mean, it's whatever.
Dre hates women.
Say what?
Dre hates black women.
I do not hate. I'm supporting Saweetie.
Yeah, that's probably it's crazy as nonchalant he sounds about Sweetie. That's probably the nicest thing I've heard anybody say about Sweetie.
I mean, I'll bump her over Nav.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
would I bump her over Nav? Would I?
That's a great question. I wish Cole was here.
Oh goodness.
Would I bump Saweetie over? I think so, man.
Saweetie got more bangers than Nav.
Yeah, man. Nav ain't got no bangers. Nav by himself ain't got no bangers.
By himself, no.
That's
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm about to play that song against that's like 80% The Weeknd, boy.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, so yeah, definitely I feel like the person has become either as big or bigger than the actual music artists themselves in this social climate.
I'll take it a step further, Dre. If you aren't bigger than your music, you need to fire your publicist. Outside that man Kendrick Lamar, I don't want to see that happening. I don't want to see a soul. Because what's their job? It's not to make your music. It's not to push your music. That's the label's job. It is to make you the bigger person. It's to make your brand bigger. There's only so few people who get that sponsorship deals off of their lyrics. And it has to be a mad specific lyric. What fucking Lil Yachty got the fucking what was it? The boat.
The Sprite junk.
No,
no,
not the Sprite one. He what, Nautica. He had the Nautica sponsorship.
Mhm.
oh yeah, he
What did
did.
the benefits name? Wasn't Lil Yachty? I don't know. But kudos to that man. You know he didn't get that shit because it's music.
No.
So
True.
you know that's
You
somebody's
didn't,
job.
the
If
line,
they
the line.
win,
You didn't
man.
like Act Up. You didn't like Act Up.
He hates black women, of course he
that's a
don't.
10. That's a 10, Cam. That was a 10. That was a 10.
Nah, but to go with the Kendrick point, Kendrick came out in a time where the music was the most important thing. So
Yeah.
he can get away with it because he established himself in the time before now. If a rapper tries to come out now and try to be all mysterious and not tweeting and all that, you'd be like, nigga, what? Like,
Bryson
nah.
Tiller.
Yeah, because think about how many young people like I mean I don't know how old all of us are, but like
That's
how
true.
many like teenagers like actually like Kendrick Lamar. Not saying that they don't like him, but like teenagers, like kids from like 16 to like 13 to 16, somewhere in that range.
There's definitely some elite, like the whole like they make fun of him on Twitter, like those hip hop fan accounts who are like white guys hiding behind Abbeys that are black artists. Them guys probably teenagers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they are, but like that's a small percentage of like kids and like teenagers. Like my brother likes Kendrick Lamar, but he don't actively follow him. He's like, when Kendrick gonna drop an album? Like he don't care. No, he listen to Young Boy. He listening to all them other people. Okay, they release music daily. That's what kids in this generation are accustomed to. They're accustomed to instant gratification. People always pouring music onto them, and people always giving them content. Like there's, like you talk about like the war in Chirac and like how people are so invested in those artists' lives and less so just the music. Like people wanted to know about those skirmishes between them and other people. And like even then, like Tekashi 6ix9ine, like I feel like a lot of people fell in love with his wacky shenanigans, and by association, they started liking his music too. So yeah, to go back to your original point, the question you're asking, no, I don't think a lot of teenagers like care about Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar ain't been here to give them anything to like. So
Yeah.
And Dre, to your point, go ahead, Cam.
No, I was just gonna say the only topic I was gonna bring up was that the fact that it's crazy. I saw a tweet today and it really like resonated with me. It was like the influence that TikTok has on the music industry is insane. Like, and it's really wild to see like those songs that you see on TikTok that like have these challenges and stuff that go with them, like end up being like top 50 songs. Like quite often, it's kind of crazy how influential you can be if you can, like you say, if you can reach a broader audience, or if you can, be that bigger person rather than the better music. Because like some of those songs that have challenges, if you sit back and listen to the songs, you only know those 10 seconds. And like the other 2 minutes of the song be trash. Like the
Corvette.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like after he says Corvette, you're like, all right, cool. Then the rest of the song plays, and you're like, all right, what is this shit?
So two things. They said that the Busted Down Challenge, they said that song is actually made by the girl that was on the TL a long time ago that everybody said sounded like Megan Stallion. That, like, the Megan Stallion replacement, she's the one that made that song. And I was like, oh,
well, it's Erica Mena is who it is.
Yeah, and they said that everybody said that song was trash past that little snippet. But second, I hate the Corvette song. Like even the 10-second snippet that's on TikTok. This is me showing my age, Cam. Because earlier you said you don't know how old we all are. This is me showing my age. I hate the Corvette snippet that's on TikTok, and I hate the little dance that they do with it. It looks so stupid. It's even weirder seeing Juju Smith in Football Pass do this shit every single Sunday. I'm old man yelling at cloud right now. I don't like it. So
man, that nigga finna have a Paul George summer, man.
You know what, Cam? I don't think people care about him enough for it, but he deserved it. He did. Like I'm gonna tell you what Juju Smith was doing leading up to them getting eliminated is what people think, and it's how people think that Paul George behaves before games.
Yes, yeah.
Even more,
not the case.
It's how people thought the Timberwolves acted when Jimmy Butler was there. That's what they thought.
Mind their own fucking business.
Like Cat be streaming in on his off days. Like nigga.
Okay.
I ain't no stunt. Paul George had posted a video because he got a partnership with Alienware, and he posted a tweet of him like he was streaming I think yesterday before the game. No, it was not yesterday, because yesterday it was Friday. He was streaming on Thursday, the day before the game. And he posted tweet like he was streaming, and I was like, God, I'm not looking at these comments. I just scrolled past it. I already knew what they were going to say. But man.
But Dre, I was about to say, your point about like he comes from a different era, so he kind of can do that. How many artists besides Kendrick can you name that come from that era who are still relevant today, who are not bigger than their music?
Who are not bigger than their music?
Yes.
Not bigger than their music.
J. Cole?
I don't think J. Cole's biggest thing is his music, I'll be honest.
I think the funny thing is, I think J. Cole became more about who J. Cole is as a person when not Friday Night Lights, when Forest Hill Drive came out, and he was like going to people's houses and like playing the album for them, and like he started becoming like a man of people. He was going to march and stuff. People fell in love with J. Cole, and then by association they end up loving his music. That's when he became like a superstar, in my opinion. It's when he started doing stuff like that. Because up to that,
a good point, yeah.
Because before that, like, Born Sinner I thought was a really good album, but people didn't really care about him. But like after Forest Hill Drive, that's when people were like, oh, J. Cole. And I feel like he got like them stands and people are like following him on every tip. That's why he can sell shoes, because there are people who will buy it just because of that. That's why Revenge of the Dreamers was able to go platinum. It's because of like his name, even though he's not like on every song, and there's a lot of people on there that the general people, casual people wouldn't care about. So yeah, I say J. Cole definitely is bigger than his name.
Okay, that is a good point. I forgot about that. That is a good point. So
Nicki Minaj is bigger than her music too. I think she is.
You know who's not bigger than their music? Wale, and we see how that's going.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Wale is probably the most relevant artist from that era that's not bigger than his music. And
Big Sean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Big Sean's dated every pop star. Big Sean.
It's tick for tat.
It's camp,
Okay. All right. Well, let's shuffle on to the next topic.
Hold on. Freddie Gibbs?
His music definitely bigger than him, but like he was never going to be a guy who was bigger than his music.
He Grammy nominated.
Because of music.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs that's a strange one because he is definitely more back half popularity than definitely front half. I'll give you Freddie Gibbs, but I will also say, is his music that big?
That's true too.
He's Grammy nominated.
Hey, I mean, Esmeralda Spalding, jazz soloist, won Best New Artist over Justin Bieber and Drake. That was a jazz artist that Grammy nominated.
Yeah. I know.
D-Smoke from the Cardi B Chance the Rapper T.I. Netflix show is also nominated for Album of the Year.
That's politics. 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 I'm calling politics on that.
That's pretty wild. But I only bring Grammys up because I'm past the point in my life where I care about Grammys.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still shocked at the fact that Freddie Gibbs was even mentioned, let alone nominated. So that threw me off.
I'm telling you, they feel their grasp on the black audience slipping, and they know the black audience feels like that they don't get those categories correct. So they think like, we need to look more at the underground people, and I think that's why Freddie Gibbs got a nod this year where he would have never gotten a nod before. I think that's why last year Nipsey Hussle got a nod, and
Pusha
T, and then like the year before that, Layla's Wisdom by Rhapsody got a nod. Like they're realizing now that like that's what people wanted, was see the best music, not necessarily the most popular music, but it's and by doing it though, they just have some head scratching cases, because even then, I don't know if Alfredo was the best album at that point. It might have been when they first did the nominations. I can't remember when it came out at that point, but anyway. Moving on to the next topic, we're gonna talk about the last leg of the James Harden trade. It involves Cleveland and the Pacers. We're gonna throw them in together. Cleveland ended up getting Taurean Prince, Jared Allen in exchange for Dante Exum, who didn't play, and then the Pacers got they got Jared Levert. LeVert is averaging
Jared
18.
LeVert.
Not Jared LeVert.
Like, damn, they got him too.
No.
The Nets really threw the whole
No.
kitchen sink in with that one.
I swear,
No.
Pacers won that trade.
No. LeVert is averaging 18 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and shooting 43, 35, 77. When I looked it up, it's like, okay, oddly enough, his numbers are very similar to Oladipo. He's just, I don't even want to say he's younger. He might just be like a year younger than Oladipo. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Oladipo is 28. And let's see, Karis LeVert,
like 26 or something like that.
Yeah. Like he ain't much younger than this.
He seems so much younger than that.
Yeah, I know.
He's 26, by the way.
Yeah, he's 26.
26, okay.
So he's only 2 years younger than Oladipo. They average around the same numbers, shoot around the same splits. So my first question to you guys is, how did Cleveland do on this trade to you?
I don't
Hey,
know what's
man.
going on in Cleveland.
Hey, man, go ahead, Dre. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, all I gotta say is the Cavaliers gave up literally nothing. 2 second-round picks and a player who does not play for them, and got 2 players who can be rotation players for them. So I feel like they got, if anybody got, like, we were grading the trade, I feel like they would get the higher grade based on what they gave up and what they got. Now, granted, they didn't get the best player by a long shot, but I mean, Jared Allen is great, and they got Taurean Prince, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, very serviceable wing.
So I mean, like the thing, yeah, about to say very serviceable wing, and then on top of it, what they got on the wing is what I feel like they needed help with Taurean Prince. Mm-hmm. Now the big man, the Jared Allen thing, I think Jared Allen might have just been a throw in to say, hey, we're gonna give you some more talent because you helping us get this trade done. But like Jared Allen, like they got literally, now you got Kevin Love, Jared Allen, Larry Nance, JaVale McGee, and Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
Like all 5 of them, I don't know how you make a rotation work. Maybe you play like a big 5 with all of them on the court at the same time.
Oh,
but like
Kevin Love at the point.
It's funny you mentioned that because I know a Cavs fan. He was like messaging me. I couldn't confirm it, but he claimed that JaVale McGee, Drummond, Larry Nance Jr., and it was another big man. He said all of them were on the court at the same time one game, like about a week or 2 ago. I think it was probably because of COVID plus like Sexton being out. Yeah. But like it was like 4 big men on the floor at the same time. I said, what are y'all doing in Cleveland? That's ungodly, man.
It is. But like now, like, and the thing is, like the Cavs, I think they're trying to strike while the iron is hot right now. I think that they got this winning streak going to start the season. They know how weak the East is, and they're like, hey, let's just go get some more talent. Let's see what we can get out of this. And I don't think that they're in because they've got draft picks in the past, kind of sort of have working out, haven't really gotten, they're not going to get another LeBron. They only come around once every 15 years. But like, I feel like they're like, all right, let's just get in the playoffs and let's see what happens. Anything is possible. The Heat made it to the finals last year, and we don't have fans right now. So, I mean, like, anything is possible. I definitely like the Cavaliers end of this deal. But, you know, we'll get to see, to be determined on how it works.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like this trade. I think if I gave them a grade, I'd probably give them something close to an A, maybe a B plus to an A minus. But the fact is they didn't give up a lot and they got 2 quality rotation players. Now the problem is also like the logjam at center, but they're all good centers, so you can always trade them for value if you want some value.
Yeah.
The most important thing is you got a young center. I didn't know Jared. You were talking about how you didn't know how Jared Young was. We didn't know how Karis LeVert was so old. I didn't know how young Allen was. He's just 22.
Really?
Yes.
22?
He is just 22. I'm gonna say what every time I hit me with like that question mark.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I think so. But I'm pretty sure he's just 22 is what I saw the other day. So he fits in perfectly with their timeline of Sexton and Garland. I want to call him Sexland all the time now. It's just a funny thing. But he is just 22 years old. So he fits perfectly in their timeline. They have a young a guy who could be a starting center to go with pair of those 2 guys. So that because the Drummond's gonna be off the books after this year, and they don't want to resign Drummond. So now that they have him, they can let Drummond go for nothing and not feel bad about it. and then they can keep McGee or Nance or whatever other big man on their roster they like and they want to keep around to help out. But that was a move for the future, and so I respect that. That was another point I wanted to make. I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. As for the Pacers, how did you guys feel about them moving on for Oladipo and being able to acquire LeVert straight up?
I think I think LeVert will fit well with them, especially with the year that Malcolm Brogdon is having. I mean, he is balling. Like, I was thinking, he might make an all-star team, but the way he balling, he might make an all-NBA team, to be honest. Like, he is balling. Sabonis is looking crazy. Miles Turner, he's gonna provide. He's gonna provide rim protection and all that. So I think adding LeVert is just somebody who could just go get a bucket.
Yeah.
Especially with TJ Warren being hurt right now, you need somebody who can you could put the ball in their hands and be like, all right, go get us a bucket. So honestly, I like the move for them. And he's still young. He's 26. Sabonis, I think, he's
like 24.
24, yeah.
It's crazy. He seemed like he should be older than he is too, especially when he's been playing.
Yeah, and Brogdon is what, 25?
Yeah.
24, 25? So
yeah.
So that's Miles Turner's young.
Yeah, he's like 24, 25 too.
24. So I mean, that's a nice little core. And
I was just about to say, question: is the Pacers the only thing they gave up was Oladipo?
From what I saw,
I think so.
I've been looking it up and I can't find anything other than that.
Because him and like I said, him and LeVert make around the same salary, so they didn't have to add players to it to make it work. And I don't remember seeing anything about the Pacers giving up a pick, which would make sense because Oladipo is an expiring contract, so they should have had to give up more stuff to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Plus, especially they've been performing around the same, so that makes sense.
I didn't mean to cut you off either, Dre. I didn't know if you were done.
Oh no, I was gonna bring that up too. Like, they basically got rid of a player that was already gonna leave and just replaced them at the same position. A younger player with, I wouldn't say just as much potential, but offensively, definitely just as much potential. So I think they came out with this trade great, honestly.
And not to mention that, but they also have control over him. Like, he's like under 3 more years of contract, and don't have no player option. So they actually can trade him for something else if they want to, or just keep him. So, like I said, Brogdon's been great. Sabonis has been great. Miles Turner has been great. Putting in LeVert, who's a very good perimeter scorer, that completes the team. That completes the starting 5. Like, it doesn't really matter who that 5th starter is. You got a rim protecting defensive player of the year caliber player, Miles Turner. You got a stretch 4 who can also play inside and out and pass really well in Sabonis, and then you got a point guard who can defend, shoot, and pass, and drive. Like your team just need a wing who can score.
So peep this. We combine the way we got Brogdon playing right now, we got Sabonis playing right now, we got Miles Turner. We combine that with Bubble LeVert and Bubble TJ Warren. Man, we cooking with high grease. We cooking with high grease.
They got a really nice bench too, and the other Holiday, I think it's Aaron. Aaron Holiday, and
they got both of the other ones, Justin and Aaron.
Oh, Justin and Aaron are there now.
Mm-hmm.
They got both of those guys, and Doug McDermott has been a sniper for them.
I didn't pick this team to be in the top 10 because I didn't think they were going to trade. Like, you remember we did the standings thing. I didn't pick them to be in the top 10, which, looking back on it, was really dumb on my end. But I didn't pick them to be in the top 10 because I thought that Oladipo was going to drag the team down. I thought Miles Turner still wanted out. Yeah. But, with this move, they might even be a top 4 team, which would be in, I would love to see that. I like this team now.
Well, we made each of us on the podcast made our top 10 seeds for each conference. And when Cam turned this into me and I was making a graphic for it, I saw that the Pacers weren't on there. Cam, please tell me this. Please tell me you did this on purpose, because this is funny as hell that you think the Pacers are gonna just bottom out. But it happens. It happens. I said Minnesota gonna be 10th seed. I didn't have Warriors in the picture at all. That was just, I let the recency bias of the first couple games blind me, so I'm in the same boat too when reacting. So shout out. This is like one of the rare trades where like 5 people put their hand in the jar and everybody comes out with something. So
Yeah.
I think it was a good trade for everyone. I don't think anybody lost it, in all honesty, unless the Rockets, get Harden and they don't win anything. In that case, they lost.
And my whole thing with the Rockets was like, well, not with the Rockets, but with the Pacers. Like, how did they end up even being involved in this trade in the first place? Like, I guess it was the Rockets wanting Oladipo over LeVert, and also the Pacers knowing that LeVert wanted out. I mean, that Oladipo wanted out. Yeah, but like I went, like when I saw the initial move go down, I was like, okay, cool, this makes sense. Then I saw LeVert getting traded for Oladipo, and I was like, okay, this didn't really make much sense. But I guess in the end of the day, Oladipo wanted out, so he gets what he wanted. But I don't know, he might have bit off more than he could chew going to. I mean, you have to get traded. You have to get traded. You're not a superstar. You don't always get what you want.
Yeah, let's say the Houston most likely didn't want any like salary going forward, and it was like, why are you gonna give us LeVert? We don't want them extra years, and then then the Nets probably said, well, just call somebody to see who would want LeVert, or and then they probably found Oladipo. So that's probably what it was. There is only one topic left. It'll be a quick one. I'm gonna pause though. Delon. Oh, no, never mind. I'm not gonna pause. Delon is still here. I didn't know where he was. He was hiding. So the last topic of the day, I titled it all caps. It was another Delon idea, and he was talking about how after the passing of MF Doom, people realized how important the song All Caps was to like their childhood, because the song, played during a lot of Boondocks episodes, and so like unknowingly, a lot of people consume MF Doom's music, and Delon wanted to know what soundtrack or songs were pivotal for you, like growing up, and like what's the song you like remember or soundtrack you remember hearing? You're just like, wow, like, and it kind of stuck with you from that point going forward.
For me, the first music video that I can remember from the earliest moments of my childhood, the first video I can remember is Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z. That was the first thing that like really grabbed my attention, because obviously, you got the Annie sample in there, so that already kind of grabs your attention, being 4 years old or however old I was. So that grabs your attention. Then you see the video and you see like the kids in the video walking down the street or whatever, and Jay-Z, which my introduction to music and rap in general. And obviously I don't understand nothing he's saying. I don't understand the rhyme schemes and all that.
It sounds good.
It just sounded good. It just sounded great. And even to this day, he's still my favorite rapper of all time. But when I think about like my childhood and my introduction to music in general, that's kind of like the reference point. Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z.
I think the first music video I can like recall like loving was like absolutely loving. Like song and video was probably Stronger by Kanye West. Like I got into rap late. I absolutely love Stronger, but I say like a soundtrack, it'd probably be NBA Street. I think Volume 2, and like they had Tron playing. They resurrected over New, and like I was like, yo, like this shit hard. Like whatever this song is, because like being born in like the middle of the '90s, I didn't grow up with Tron. But then hearing it on the soundtrack, I was like, "Yo, this is amazing! Like, what is this song?" And like, it's just like you can't like sing along to it. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, that was the soundtrack song for me.
You know what's so crazy? Because I think Roughneck was on that soundtrack. Like, that song was on there, and I remember like my dad was in the car listening to old school hip hop. And I was in the car and I was like rapping Roughneck, and I was like rapping it word for word. And my dad was like, "How do you know this?" I was like, "I don't even know how I know. I don't even remember how I know this, but I know this." But going back to what you were saying, Jordan, a soundtrack that really stuck with me when I was younger. I don't know how young I was when I used to play this, but definitely a game I used to play on my PSP all the time, and that used to stick with me was a soundtrack from Midnight Club Dub Edition. Bruh, when I tell you all those songs, like all the 50 Cent G Unit songs, like that was my song. That like I legit can rap like that whole playlist from that song just because of that game and how much time I spent playing it.
Yeah, I know so many people get a kick out of because people trip out about your voice and the way you speak. So listening you say you can recite plenty of 50 Cent and G Unit. I'm pretty sure a lot of people get a kick out of that. What about you, DeLon?
So you actually took my video game one, volume 2. But my second place for favorite video game soundtrack, that really resonated with me was GTA San Andreas.
I was about to say that.
Man, if you turn that radio station to Los Santos, man.
Yep.
But then also on the movie side, Get Rich or Die Trying. I think 50 might have been my second favorite rapper. My first favorite rapper was Nelly, and then eventually 50 was my favorite rapper because it's funny you mentioned the music video thing. The earliest music video I remember is Country Grammar.
Country Grammar, yeah, definitely.
That's a great video. That's your first video.
I think mine was Air Force One by Nelly. So
look at this.
Is that why you dressed up as him that time in that picture?
You know what? Then it was really easy to replicate too.
Yeah, well, all you had was a headband on and a band-aid on your face. That was real easy. But all right.
Shout out to Nellyville, man. Shout out to Nellyville.
Classic album.
That's all I got for the day. You guys have any closing thoughts?
Y'all don't understand it, but we just did a future callback. I don't think y'all got that. The episode ain't dropped yet. The episode ain't dropped yet, but we just did a callback to a future episode. I'm going to leave y'all with that.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, that might be the first time ever.
Yeah, Cam.
Cam don't even know what we're talking about. You don't see what I'm saying?
I don't. I'm lost. I'm really lost right now.
He's gonna hear the episode in the future.
Y'all up here.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But anyway, Dre, appreciate you coming on. Glad to finally have you on talk basketball with you. Like I said, we didn't get to talk about Luka today, but it's coming. It's coming.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I was just about to say, I think Dre will be a good core replacement because he said some wild shit like Harden is unselfish. So definitely.
On the court, man. On the court. He'll pass the ball.
I'm actually mad Corey isn't here today because Corey's always been a big James Harden apologist. I need him. I might be my Corey skip, to be honest with you. I thought about that when he first said I can't be on this weekend. I was like, interesting. That's perfect timing, huh? We might talk about Harden next week just to hear him apologize or just hear him say, you know what, I was wrong. But he'll probably say, no, I was right. Harden can't win with them.
Is he playing today? Is Harden playing today?
I don't think he's making his debut
Monday.
today.
They said Monday.
Monday? Okay, cool.
That's why never mind. Kyrie can't play because of protocol. That's why Kyrie not playing today either.
Is Kyrie playing Monday? Or?
He should be. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be clear protocol because he was gone a lot of times, but he should be close to it. But all right. Thank you all for tuning into another episode of Popular Man Podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your favorite podcast. See you then.